Hi everyone, this is Elena of the Witches Box, and I'm here today with another episode of Witch Booktube. And today we're going to be covering the Hex Twisting book by Elena Rego. You've seen this before. We have a whole box that has this book at the center of it. And those of you who were part of the Witch Book subscription service, when we sent out one of her other books, you had an opportunity to meet with her, which was fantastic. This book is kind of the sister box to a box that we did. We had a hexing box, and I believe maybe it was 2019, maybe it was 2020. We featured Utterly Wicked in one of the boxes, which was a book on hexing and curses. There was all of this brouhaha around, oh my God, that book, this book, we don't hex, the pearl clutching, the yada yada, but we persevere because, as I say, often, all the time, an empowered witch is an educated witch. An educated witch is a powerful witch. Know your magic. Know your stuff, know what people are doing out there so that you understand and learn more about the way you manage your magic. You don't have to be a person that curses. You don't have to be a person that hexes or jinxes or does any of those things. But understanding how that works can serve you in a million different ways, magically and energetically. So we don't shy away from things like that here. And it's important to learn. This book is really about counter magic spells. It's about, you've been cursed, now what do you do? And this book offers a lot of incredibly valuable information and magic that is essential in your toolbox. This is why we did a whole box around this. Let me read to you Diana's bio, and then I'll read to you the table of contents, and then we'll go into the book. So Elena Rego is an itinerant city priestess who often tethers in Kalamazoo, Michigan and San Francisco, California. She brings 25 years of magical experience to her writing, including spirit work, exorcism, spellcasting, troubleshooting, and more. She is the co-owner of Golden Apple Metaphysical in California, and she runs a metaphysical problem-solving agency in Michigan. Her book credits include Urban Magic, Mabon, and Samhain. Find out more about her at www.dianarachel.com. Also, by the way, her book, and I've reviewed her other book here on YouTube, Urban Magic, was a fantastic book. So I highly recommend still, if you didn't get a chance to get it then, get that book now because it's really great. All right, the table of contents. Chapter 1 is what is counter magic and why is it necessary? Chapter 2 is Am I Cursed? Methods of Curse Diagnostics. Chapter 3 is your magical body, your self-cleansing, clearing, and spotting influence. Chapter 4 is get it out of here, driving negative magic out of your house. Chapter 5 is chase off the small stuff, daily maintenance for evil eye, gossip, and other annoyances. Chapter 6 is you did what now? Binding, freezing, and reversals for crossed boundaries. Chapter 7 is health protection, spells to ward and preserve the energetic bodies. Chapter 8 is spells for taking it to the mattresses, finding out who did what and what to do about them if they went too far. Chapter 9 is hi, here's your butt back, hex twisting of the so-called irreversible spells. Chapter 10, when spirits are jerks, handling hauntings, harassment, and hired on spirits. Chapter 11, that was terrible, let's do that again, recovery and prevention from spiritual trauma. 12 is final notes for the potentially traumatized, and then there's a recommended reading list, bibliography, and an index. As you can see from the table of contents, this is a really important information. How often do we get an email or a DM or a question out in the streets like, how do I know if I was cursed? I feel like something is off. What's going on? I have said to many people, I'm sure you've seen me do it before, where I almost contradict myself, but I'll say it's usually not someone out there deliberately casting a spell on you or deliberately cursing you or sending a hexing your way. It's usually energy that's sent to you unconsciously, energy that's sent to you via a projection. Someone is projecting all sorts of stories on you because you may have triggered a memory or a thought, and now they think that you're this, this, and this. And that, of course, affects you. Often it's that, more often than not. More often you're driving down the road and some road ragey dude feels like you're not going fast enough and he sends something your way in a moment. He may not even be a witch. And you're going to be affected by that. Things like that are really well and easily managed by a daily energetic hygiene regimen or a practice where you do a clearing, where you do something regularly to keep that off of you, because we're picking stuff up every single day, especially with social media. Social media makes you so much more visible than you've ever been. Even if your social media following is maybe 50 people of like the people that you really know in your family, it makes you more visible and it makes you more susceptible to projection. And projection can sometimes be really draining, but not in a way that isn't easy to release yourself from, right? And so she covers those things that are easy, those things that by having a regular practice of cleansing and clearing, you keep yourself energetically, hygienically clear. I always hesitate to talk about this because I don't want to perpetuate and fuel a sense of paranoia. You may just be having a bad day. It may not be that someone's cursing you, okay? I mean, that's just the reality. However, with the heightened popularity of witchcraft, with all of the books that are out there, with all of people who are seeking magic because they want empowerment in a disempowered life, the chances of being cursed or having a hex sent your way has increased. It just has. We have many, 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 many more practitioners out there than ever. And unfortunately, that increase has not been in direct correlation with an increase in heightened, mature communication skills and problem-solving skills. Yeah. So when people don't have the problem-solving skills that they need, when people don't have necessarily the self-facing skills that they need to deal with the conflict, what's easier? Let's go for a curse and let's curse someone and get back at them. There's a lot of reactionary behavior going on. And so, not to alarm you, not to make you feel paranoid, but the chances of people cursing other people has increased. It just has. And a book like this gives you a lot of really valuable information about you're feeling something. Are you feeling this? She's got a great list of like different symptoms and what it can mean. What kind of curse or spell could it have been? How do you unravel that? How do you break out of that and cut that influence from affecting you so that you can continue going on with your life without having this curse or hex or jinx put on you? So in that sense, this is why I think that this book is really powerful. I think it's really important because we need it. But also in the reading of the book, you're going to learn so much about spellcraft, and you're going to learn so much about how to protect yourself and be strategic in the way that you use your magic and what you use it for. It's also going to give you a lot of support and understanding. Is it that I'm just doing things myself that's draining my energy, or is something being thrown at me, right? That's an important thing to understand and to be able to discern for yourself. It's an important skill. And also, on top of all of that, her writing is fantastic. It's an easy read in the sense that there's a lot of information here. Even if you're a beginner and there are going to be things that you don't fully understand, she defines those things for you. But on top of that, I experienced this too when I read her other book, Urban Magic. There is a really easy, smooth flow of the words. Sometimes there are books that I thought have been amazing, but I have to really show up for every single word in order for it to land. And sometimes the reading can be a little slow going because it feels a little sluggish, even though the information is really amazing. That is not the case here. Her writing really flows beautifully. It's an easy read. You get pulled along. So on top of the fact that you've got an amazing amount of information here, the writing is really smooth and it makes it easy to really absorb the information that you're taking in. I recommend it. This is a 5-star book for me. I think that every witch should have this along with the other book that isn't written by her, but the other book, Utterly Wicked, was just as valuable. Don't shy away from things that you don't understand. Don't feel that if you read these books that somehow you are also then committing to being a hexing witch. Don't get convoluted and don't get caught up in all of those stories. Understand what you're reading. Read what you need to understand. Educate yourself. Whether you choose to do this kind of magic or not, you can only be expanded by knowledge. It's important to know how magic works in every direction. So I highly recommend the other book, and I highly recommend this book because at some point in our lives, we're going to have something thrown in our direction. Yeah. And it's really great to have something that's going to educate you and support you in really understanding what it is and how to reverse yourself out of what was said to you that you don't really want to be affected by. Yeah. So like that, Hex Twisting, Diana Rajchel. The design itself is really beautiful. A great book. At the time of this recording, I think we have a handful of the unhexing boxes left. If there are any left, I will link that down below. If there isn't a link for that box down below, that means that we've sold out. But at the time that I'm recording this, which is going to be a week or two before you see this, we have some. So we'll see how it goes by the time this actually goes live on YouTube. Also, if you've read this, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below. You must have this book, so get it. Get the book. All right, my loves, thank you so much, and I will see you next week with another review. Bye.